morning. This is the Vsb TV 11 News for Tuesday, May 13th. I'm Peter Cattell. Our top story, having declared in Parliament on Friday night that he does not believe any hotel will be built in Bermuda this year, Opposition leader Mark Bean declared today that the PLP fully supports efforts to see development at Morgan's Point, Parleville and the Club Med site, among others. He goes on to say that it is therefore essential that the OBA government sorts out the matter of the unanswered Jetgate questions. Mr. Bean's statement offers some critical points that he feels have been missed. For example, if the trip to DC was just an exchange of information, why was the Innovation Group in the meeting? And who is Ronald Sutherland, and what are the terms of his consultancy with the Ministry of Tourism, Development and Transport? Also, how many meetings has the Premier had with Nathan Landau in Bermuda and overseas? And what is the role of Stephen DaCosta in all of this? A former UBP candidate appeared in Magistrates Court this morning and was charged with assault. 47-year-old Tillman Darrell, who ran as an independent in the 2012 general election, denied charges of unlawfully assaulting a man and causing him grievous bodily harm. He was further charged with possessing an offensive weapon, namely a Carlsberg beer bottle, without lawful authority. He also pleaded not guilty to that charge. The charges stem from an incident that allegedly occurred on March 20th of this year in Pembroke Parish. Darrell was granted bail in the amount of $3,000 and will reappear for trial on May the 27th. The death has occurred at the age of 98 of the Honourable Frederick John Barrett, CBE, one of the best-known and most respected members of the United Bermuda Party. Mr. Barrett was MP for Devonshire South from 1968 to 1989, becoming Speaker of the House of Assembly in 1979, a position he held for 10 years. John Barrett served in the UBP Cabinet as Minister of Marine and Air Services and as Minister of Transport. OBA Chairman Thad Hollis, in his condolences, described Mr. Barrett as an intelligent, gracious and even-tempered man whose calm but firm grasp of debate won him respect and admiration from both sides of the House. Mr. Hollis added that the party's sympathy went out to his family, in particular his son, former OBA member John Barrett, who he said played such a major role in the formation of the OBA. Premier Craig Cannonier and Opposition leader Mark Bean also offered their condolences. As the Friends of Hospice celebrate their 20th birthday, the best present they could hope for is a new facility, as Agape House continues to provide palliative care in a building well past its shelf life. Chairman Dr. Ian Fulton makes it clear that he and his team would like nothing better than a new facility.
The facility that we have is fairly old. We only have 8 rooms, and we need the potential for having a larger facility. And I think without a doubt we somehow need to get a new hospice built. Whether it's on the same site where we are now or whether it's on a new site remains to be seen, but we need to somehow get a new hospice.
So in a perfect world, what would you like to see for the hospice of the future?
I'd like to see a purpose-built unit. I think this site is wonderful. It's adjacent to the hospital, so we can use the facilities there when necessary, on occasion that's necessary. It's next to the botanical gardens. It's got beautiful views. It's peaceful. So, I'd like to see a new hospice on this site. That's a lot of money, and I don't know where that money's coming from, but we got to have that money somehow. So.
There's a very good reason why William Gillies has become the first Bermudian to be given sole rights to his collection of maritime artifacts. The retired treasure diver and restorer of marine artifacts has earned the honor, granted in 2013, because of the example he has set the rest of the world in making sure that priceless historical relics are not left to crumble and fall apart in private hands. The 84-year-old will talk about his 40-year career at the BUEI this Thursday night under the title of his book, Reefs, Wrecks and Relics.
It was Philippe Rougeard and Harold Conyers who very kindly got me ownership of my collection.
Now, what does that mean to you, to have ownership of your own collection?
It means a great deal. I don't have any fear that anybody's going to take it away from me. And, I don't think that's very fair.
There was a fear at one point.
Yes, there was. But I think it'll end up in one of the museums. But, I take great pleasure in sitting in my chair and looking at my case, and I say, oh, look at that, I remember when I found that, and I remember when I put that back together. So during my lifetime, it won't. But hopefully, when I'm gone, it'll go in the museum.
I'm sure you're opposed to people just taking things off wrecks and putting them in their gardens to fall apart.
Definitely. There's a lot's been lost through doing that. Unfortunately, I've been lumped in with all the rest of them in the past. But very, very slowly, I'm beginning to be recognized.
Now, that's the important thing, is that you set an example, and now people can aspire to be as careful and as clever.
A lot of the divers bring stuff to me. Since I haven't been able to dive because of my age and illness, that's what I've done, restorations. And I've done a lot. And many of the divers do bring their finds to me, for me to preserve them.
So your talk on Thursday will be about your life and times underwater?
Yes. It's about the reefs, and it's about the wrecks, and then I go into the restoration, and then the treasure that Harry and I found in 1968.
Is that the highlight?
Well, not really. It caused us a lot of trouble.
Yes, I suppose.
There was a lawsuit over it and all this sort of stuff. So it was much better before we found it.
With the Bermuda Hospitals Charitable Trust having raised $31 million towards the target of $40 million to go towards the new acute care wing of the King Edward, Executive Director Ralph Richardson says the time is slipping away for those who intend to make a donation and have their names properly recorded. And from today, it will be possible to make a donation of just $50 and be recognized. He explains.
We're running out of time now for those who wanted to give, and we wanted to let everybody know that there are some deadlines in that the campaign itself, this particular campaign, will end in September, but there are certain components of it that will end in June. So I think we need to let people know that there is some urgency now. If they'd intended to give and they still would like to get recognition for it, they'll have to give early. The campaign, as I mentioned, will continue to September, and probably even beyond, but certainly we do have some deadlines now.
That would include the walkway?
Yes, the walkway will probably go on for several months, but if one wants to have their their message out prior to the opening, then June 20th is the deadline.
And there are other things too, and you can put little amounts of money towards something special.
You know, the amazing thing, Brian, and I think you shared that with me, that when people found out that the minimum gift was $1,000, we started receiving calls. I don't have $1,000, but we want to contribute. And we said, watch this space, we have something just for you. And as of today, in today's daily, we've actually announced that, and I'm announcing with you now, that people can give as low as $50 up to whatever amount. So we now have a menu of items. In fact, we have associated that with equipment in the hospital. $50 will be the equivalent of an IV stand. $300 will be the equivalent of a walker. Or $500 will be the equivalent of a wheelchair. And if one goes online, one can go up to $45,000 if they like. So we've given a broad option of items that one can support. So we're really excited about that. So if you've got $50 and you want to make a contribution, you will be recognized for it on the donor wall.
But the biggest news is that the Trust will be holding a telethon on Friday between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. Mr. Richardson will tell us how that will operate in the second half of our interview tomorrow night. Still ahead on the TV 11 News is Che with the weather preview.
Thanks. Let's take a look at the Doppler radar. Well, not much going on, and I'm not talking about inside my head. No, I'll have more about your weather coming up later.
The weather radar picture provided courtesy of the Ministry of Transport on Vsb TV 11.
You can count on us. It's barbecue time. Purdue Fresh Value Pack chicken thighs, only $1.99 per pound. Imported Haitian mangoes, just $2.99 each, saving you $1. Save 60 cents on all varieties of Hunt's barbecue sauce, only $1.89 for an 18-ounce bottle. Dozen large imported brown or white eggs, just $2.89. All varieties of Wise potato chips, only $1.49 for a 3.75-ounce bag. Visit our website at www.marketplace.pm for more weekly specials.
You can count on us.
Next year, we're conducting the census, and now we have the new technology to do it even better. But we need your help in making sure the e-census will be ready to go. From May 21st through June 24th, we're pre-testing the e-census with 1,000 randomly selected households. If you receive this letter, you are part of that test. It's convenient, secure, confidential, and it is your civic duty, because people count. A message from the Bermuda Government Department of Statistics.
Bermuda is me.
Bermuda is me.
Bermuda is me.
Bermuda is me. Bermuda is me.
Bermuda is me.
Bermuda is me.
Bermuda is me.
Bermuda is me.
Bermuda is me.
Bermuda is all of us. Happy Heritage Month from Lindo's. Why go anyplace else?
This portion of the VSB News is brought to you in part by Bermuda Pest Control. For commercial and residential pest control, providing island-wide service. For free inspections and estimates, call 232-PEST. That's 232-7378.
Artists in residence invariably focus on the beauty of Bermuda's sea, sky, and land. But as Fran Gifford takes up her 3 months tenure at the Masterworks Museum of Bermuda Art, her focus is on birds. The BHS graduate shares her passion for birds with VSB's Charles Webb.
I hope to draw birds that reflect the colours of the island. So I've come and I'll obviously be drawing the local birds, so the kiskadys and the cardinal, the bluebirds that are all bright and beautiful. But I'd like to draw some other exotic birds that reflect the colours of the houses, the beautiful fish, the wildlife, and so in short we have a very colourful exhibition of birds.
So where did you develop this fascination with birds?
It started out as just a need to draw anything. I focused on birds for my degree show and actually drew every species of vulture, which is a bit more sinister than what I'm doing now. And then the interest developed as I drew more and more and more, and now it's a complete fascination and I find them beautiful, and it's a perpetual interest because there are so many species.
How does the light in Bermuda differ from when you're painting, say, in the United Kingdom?
Well, I'm painting in London, which is grey, so I think it's a real joy to paint somewhere that is so beautiful, that is so sunny. And apart from anything else, it's a real pleasure to be outside here. London, drawing was more a body of work. It can be difficult, and with an oppressive grey sky, it's not so fun, whereas here there's a real want to do a drawing, do it well, and then get outside and see some sunshine and see some wildlife here, because there isn't so much of that in London either.
Now, here's a look at the daily markets, presented by Bias.
Wall Street flat after hitting new highs. European shares rise. In U.S., stocks were little changed, with the S&P extending a record after briefly topping 1,900 for the first time, as data showed retail sales in March were higher than initially reported. The Nasdaq dropped 0.33% to 4,130. Bank of NT Butterfield dropped 0.5% to $1.99 with 135,500 shares trading hands. Keytech Limited decreased 3.84% to $4.76. 1,200 shares were traded. XL Group rose 0.65% to $32.57. Most European indices were up on the day. The FTSE 100 increased 0.31% to 6,873 after a report that Germany's Bundesbank is willing to support stimulus measures from the European Central Bank. China's stocks fell from a 2-week high as slower than estimated growth in industrial output, fixed asset investment, and retail sales increased. Concern the economic slowdown is deepening. The Shanghai H index dropped 0.1% to 2,051. Most Latin American indices advanced on the day. The Mexican Bolsa rose 0.36% to 42,237. Chile's IGPA increased 0.65% to 19,341. Brazil's Vsb dropped 0.27% on speculation gains that pushed the benchmark to a 6-month high or excessive. U.S. Treasuries climbed as a report showed U.S. retail sales rose less than expected. The U.S. 10-year yield dropped 5 basis points to 2.61%. The euro fell versus the U.S. dollar after a gauge of German investor confidence declined, fueling speculation the European Central Bank will take measures to boost the region's economy. The Canadian dollar weakened 0.15% versus the U.S. dollar. And that was a look at the daily markets presented by Bias. Up next is Season to Taste.
Save $4 on imported seedless watermelons, just $10.99 each. Certified Angus beef top sirloin steak, only $8.99 per pound. All varieties of Breyer's ice cream, just $7.89 for a 48-ounce tub. Clean up this holiday with Bounty napkins, only $4.89 for a package of 200. All varieties of Yoplait yogurt, just $1.09 for a 6-ounce tub. Have a safe and happy Bermuda Day holiday from the marketplace.
You can count on us.
The following vignette was taken from Bermuda 5 Centuries by Rosemary Jones and other local history sources, and is sponsored by Belco, the power to save, Lindo's, why go anyplace else, Gosling's, Bermuda Investment Advisory Services, and Colonial Insurance.
All slaves want to be free. To be free is sweet. I have been a slave. I know what slaves feel. The man that says slaves be quite happy in slavery, that they don't want to be free, that man is either ignorant or a lying person. Mary Prince, 1831.
Finding great deals in Bermuda has never been easier.
Hey, wow, you're looking sharp today.
Thanks. With all the money I've saved shopping here, I bought myself a new suit and a new car.
Phoenix Center's basement carries a wide range of items for household and kitchen.
Hang on, where did you park that car?
Well, funny you should mention that.
Don't tell me, don't tell me.
Barbecue grills and accessories, small appliances, bedding sets, camping gear, school supplies, tools, a huge variety of stationery, and so much more.
Is it time to knock off yet? This price driving me crazy.
All from selected vendors and manufacturers who supply only the highest quality merchandise. These are the name companies that you've come to know and trust and return to again and again. And we're always looking to source even more affordable products to offer you, our customers. Come see us today. We're located in the basement of the Phoenix Center on Reed Street.
Are you paying more than one provider? More than you should? Why? Prepare to be wowed! Voice, long distance, high-speed internet, TV, and HD TV. One package, one stop, one customer care level. Excellent! One bill! Enjoy local and long-distance minutes, TV and HD TV, your choice of internet speed, and so much more. From only $184.99 monthly for everything.
For more information, visit wow.bm or call 292-1969.
Season 2 Taste is next.
Season to Taste with Peter Javetic, an exclusive presentation of Lindo's Group of Companies.
Welcome to Season to Taste. I'm your host, Peter Javetic. We're here at the Bermuda Gas showrooms on Serpentine Road, and I'm going to be preparing this lovely dish of tuna tartare. This is a lovely fresh dish that can be served with a nice little piece of toast. You can do it as an hors d'oeuvre or as a main course or as an appetizer. Okay, I'm going to start. So we've got a lovely piece of tuna. Sashimi grade, please. So we're going to gently just slice away at that, very, very thin slices. You don't want to mince this. You really just want to sort of slice small chunks. So we're just going to gently chop that. Use a very sharp knife. So here we go. I'll just give you a little. Take your time. Don't do what I'm doing here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to pop this into our bowl. beautiful, fresh tuna. Now, very simple. Coriander. A little bit of coriander or cilantro, call it what you will. Just a few capers. I like a little bit of crunch and a little bit of acidity. Sesame oil. Just a little hint of that. Some chive, just to give it a little bit of a oniony flavor. And then a bit of ginger. We're going to... The best way to clean ginger is with a spoon. Forget peelers, forget knives. See how quickly this happens with a spoon? There we go. See that? That's beautiful. Look at that. And I don't need it all. I just need a little. So take your microplane. Not a lot, because you don't want to overpower. This is a very, very delicate dish, and you don't want to overpower it. So just a little bit. Possibly that much is enough. And then just a touch of your soy sauce. A little hint of soy. This is an Outer Bridges soy. Take a nice spatula, stir that up. Make sure you mix it well, but don't crush the tuna. You don't want mush. It needs to have definition, and you're building these flavors. Okay. Next thing is we're going to cheat. We're going to use a little mold. I'm going to just bring this plate over here because it's easier for me to operate from here. And this is how we would do it in the business. Try not to get it all over the plate. Just try to get it into the mold. Pat that down, and lift that up. That looks pretty. Garnish with a few microgreens, a few different colors. You want color on the plate, visual nutrition as well as regular nutrition. I mean, that looks pretty. Finish that off with a little piece of chive, and there we have it. One very, very simple, very, very quick tuna tartare. This was a little ciabatta that I toasted earlier on. Brushed it with a little bit of olive oil. This has been Seasoned to Taste. I'm Peter Jovetic. Until next time.
Seasoned to Taste with Peter Jovetic is an exclusive presentation of Lindo's Group of Companies, featuring Gosling's Wine of the Week, a Vsb TV 11 production recorded on location at the Bermuda Gas showrooms.
The Wine of the Week is presented by Gosling's.
Welcome to Gosling's Wine of the Week. I'm Peter Jovetic, your host. I'm here with Neil Mountford. Neil, I've prepared this dish of tuna tartare with sesame, ginger and some coriander. What have you brought along for us to try?
Thank you, Peter. I have selected the Chateau Saint Michel Columbia Valley Riesling. It has aromas of minerality and white peach. The weight of the wine pairs with the texture of the tuna and the slight sweetness with the soy ginger. And did you know, actually, it's the largest #1 selling Riesling in the world?
Wow, even more than the Germans?
Even more than the Germans.
Wow, that's pretty good. So let's give it a try.
Thank you. Cheers.
Cheers to your health. Oh, that slight sweetness and the acidity is going to work perfectly with that. Excellent. Fantastic. This has been the Wine of the Week. Until next time.
The retail price is $17 and is available at Lindo's and Gosling stores.
The Wine of the Week was presented by Gosling's.
Bermuda Gas is proud to be the authorized distributor of KitchenAid products in Bermuda. Every product that carries the KitchenAid name is guaranteed to be strong, reliable, versatile, and backed by 90 years of quality and excellence. KitchenAid believes that preparing meals together is one of life's greatest pleasures, so they craft their products to enhance this experience. No one knows the kitchen like KitchenAid, and no one in Bermuda knows KitchenAid like Bermuda Gas.
Bermuda Gas, the clear choice. Visit us at 25 Serpentine Road or online at bermudagas.bm.
Aspiring football players will be delighted to know that Bermuda has its first FIFA licensed player agent in Andre Pacheco. But first, we hear from the BFA General Secretary.
The Bermuda Football Association is pleased to present Andre Pacheco, Bermuda's first FIFA licensed player agent. This is a historical moment for the BFA in that Andre has the right and the authority under the FIFA regulations to represent any Bermuda player or player worldwide who seeks a professional playing career.
It's truly an honor to be Bermuda's first FIFA licensed agent by the BFA. My goal is to help and work closely with the BFA, the players of Bermuda, and the coaches and clubs of Bermuda, and to progress anyone that wants to take their abilities further to make it a professional. And I'm just here to help everybody, and I look forward to the future and what it brings for all of Bermuda and to raise Bermuda's profile in football. I started my company, Nexus Sports Group, a few years ago, working with other agents, learning from them, and through them and through myself and my partner Travis Mills, we have a variety of contacts all over the world, mainly in South America, the MLS, Portugal, the UK, and we try to establish direct contacts with clubs, other agents and players, and just providing more opportunities. For example, we're working closely with the BFA to bring in more opportunities, more scouting opportunities to Bermuda to get more players noticed for overseas opportunities.
That should do it. Enjoy your new shower.
Experience the bold look of Kohler at a Kohler registered showroom.
Well, beautiful weather. The first pick is Ben Affleck as Batman, and I didn't have to spend any time in an elevator with Solange Knowles. Today was a pretty good day. I'm Jay Barker, and this is your weather. Let's take a look at our weather shot for today. Today's shot taken by Henry Smith this morning in Spanish Point, overlooking Stockyard. And you can see this was the beginning of a beautiful day. Flat, calm waters, blue skies, and it's amazing how close that ship looks. That must have been a big one. Thanks to Henry Smith for sending that in. Our highs and lows for today, well, our high temperature, you can see it's definitely starting to heat up. 76 our high temperature at 2:30 p.m., 65 our low at 5 a.m. this morning. Currently, we're looking at 71 degrees, humidity at 70%, winds out of the west at 5 knots, and the barometric pressure is steady at 30.2 inches. For May so far, we've seen 1.3 inches of rain, brings our total for the year to 22.33 inches, still up on the normal of 19.8 for the year. Take a look at our satellite maps. Well, a surface ridge will maintain dry conditions with light winds becoming moderate at times. On Wednesday, that tail end of a weak front will pass through with a possible shower or two. High pressure will then begin to build back up off to our north, bringing drier weather and moderate winds, which should decrease on Saturday. In the gateway cities, 84 and mostly cloudy in Atlanta, 63 and mostly cloudy in Boston, Charlotte, mostly cloudy in 88, 66 and sunny in London, possible thunderstorms in 87 in Miami, New York, cloudy in 69, 90 degrees and mostly cloudy in Orlando, Philadelphia, cloudy and 74, 63 and partly cloudy in Toronto, and Washington, we've got cloudy and 77 degrees. For tonight, we're looking at a low of around 67, partly to mostly cloudy, winds out of the west at 5 to 8 knots, and then they'll move out of the north at 8 to 12 knots. For tomorrow, high temperature around 73, sunny breaks with a passing shower or two, winds out of the north at 8 to 12 knots, they'll veer to the northeast, and then overnight at the east-northeast at 14 to 18 knots. For mariners tonight, there are no warnings in effect. Seas inside the reef 1 foot, seas outside the reef 2 to 3 feet, and the sea temperatures come up to a pretty nice 76 degrees. For mariners tomorrow, no warnings are in effect. Seas outside the reef 1 foot, seas inside the reef, seas inside the reef 1 foot, seas outside the reef 2 to 4 feet, high tide 8:53 a.m. and your low tide at 2:49 p.m. Take a look at our 5-day forecast. On Wednesday, sunny breaks with a passing shower or two, high of 73. Thursday, mix of sun and cloud with a possible light shower early on, high of 73. Friday, partly cloudy, high of 74. Saturday, sunny periods, high of 73. And Sunday, sunny breaks and a high of 73. Thank you. I'd like to thank the Bermuda Weather Service for all their help, and for the rest of you, enjoy your night. I'll see you again real soon.
Thanks for tuning in to the TV 11 News. We'll see you again tomorrow night. Good night.
Peter Cattell's attire courtesy of A.S. Cooper & Sons Limited.
Vsb TV 11, Bermuda.